Hello guys, welcome back to another video. We are going to be recapping UFC 277 in Dallas. We had two title fights and some good fights on the card, some finishes and things like that. But yeah, let's get into it. First off, we have Orion Cosce versus Blood Diamond. For this fight, I chose Blood Diamond. He did have some success earlier in the fight. I think he got muscled down, got up. He did rock Cosce a couple times, but Cosce eventually did get Blood Diamond down later in the rounds and was able to stay on top of him and deal a little bit of damage. I think it was probably 1-1 on the cards heading into the third till Cosce took him down and basically held him there for most of the round and beat him up. So yeah, it's not looking very good for Blood Diamond. This is his second loss in a row. He hasn't won a single fight in the UFC yet, and yeah, it doesn't look like I don't think I might be choosing him again, unless he's fighting some dumb person. His fight IQ was not here this fight. There was times where Cosce held him in the clinch, and he kept engaging in the clinch and definitely kept him away from winning the fight. So yeah, but nonetheless, a good win for Cosce. Did miss weight, which probably gave him an advantage with the takedowns and all that. But yeah, we will move on to the next fight. We are currently 0-1 on the card. I guess I should have gotten out my my little check marks. I didn't set it up on the video yet, but yeah, the winner of this fight was indeed Orion Cosce. But yes, moving on to the next fight. We had Ihor Potieria versus Nicolae and Negumereanu. I think I figured that out there. I kind of got a sense of what it was later on. Let me fix the arrow here. I should have done this beforehand. I completely forgot to do it. But yeah, Nicolae and Negumereanu, basically just, I think he started out grappling in the first round, closed the distance, was hitting some pretty big shots on him, took him down, and was working him down there. Basically gassed Ihor Potieria pretty early in the fight. Didn't have to do too much to do it either. Took him down. He was completely fine in the second round. Second round, Ihor Potieria was looking very gassed, but came out fresh like it was the first round. Came zooming out, and immediately started damaging Nicolae and Negumereanu. Did get some really good shots in there, but Negumereanu was able to eventually hit his punches pretty well. Cracked Potieria against the cage, and knocked his mouthpiece out, and then was just kneeing him in the face like a few times, and then punching him pretty hard in the mouth. Like I was expecting to see some teeth fall out. It was pretty rough to watch. But yeah, the ref stopped the fight in the middle of the second round, and I did get this fight wrong. It was two fights in a row, and I was getting really worried. This saw Joselyne Edwards versus Yeon Kim. I was like, oh crap, women's MMA fight coming up next. I'm a little worried, but yeah, we did get this one wrong, but it does look a lot better for us later on the card. So yeah, let's move on. We have Joselyne Edwards versus Yeon Kim. Joselyne Edwards does come out with the win in this fight. I believe I predicted her to win the fight. If I didn't, well, then I must have forgot. But yeah, I predicted her to keep range on Yeon Kim. Yeah, that's what I thought would win her. Just range with her legs, things like that. Yeon Kim has to get inside to those combos, and she couldn't do it the whole fight. I think Yeon Kim might have taken out the first round. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, in the later rounds, Joselyne Edwards was definitely picking her apart. So yeah, there's not too much to say about this fight. Yeah, good win for Joselyne Edwards. I think she did miss weight. I think the first three fights there was weight issues, but yeah, good win for Joselyne Edwards. And yeah, let's move on up the card. We have Michael Morales versus Adam Fugitt. I did choose Michael Morales. it did seem like he did win by a KO in the 3rd round, I believe. It did seem like he was like playing with him a little bit. He wasn't trying to get a finish. He was trying to get something a little spectacular. He was just throwing open shots, like some really nice shots too. But he was also getting hit pretty hard also. Left his chin completely wide open when he was throwing his shots. Obviously, he's still pretty young. I think like 23, 24 years old. So he'll definitely fix that. But it was a pretty good, impressive win for him. Yeah, hits pretty hard. Very athletic. Definitely tried to grapple him a couple times. Couldn't get him down. Found a way to win, which is good for him. And also good look for Adam Fugitt too. He hung in there for the couple rounds. A lot of people thought he was going to get out early. But yeah, good win for him. And I did get this fight right. So I am now 2-2 on the card. I don't think, if I'm correct, I don't think I get it. Oh, I think I get one more wrong after this, but that's about it. Yeah, moving on up the card. Drakkar Klose versus Rafa Garcia. Drakkar Klose did win this fight. I did predict him to win. I predicted him to pick him apart for all 3 rounds. And he did just that. I think he took him down a few times. Rafa Garcia did hit him pretty hard a couple times also, but Drakkar Klose definitely stayed in his face, pressured him most of the fight, and yeah, was able to pull away with the victory. Good win for him. Not much to talk about that fight either. Let's move on. We are now 3-2 on the card. Yeah, move on. We have Hamdy Abdelwahab versus Dontel Mays. I believe I chose Dontel Mays. I think I wasn't too sure about this fight. Hamdy Abdelwahab didn't have like too much on his record to like base anything off of. He is a great wrestler, but like the guy, he was fighting a bunch of cans really, so there's nothing to really go off of striking wise. But yeah, he did look really good in here. Cracked Dontel Mays a couple times. Dontel Mays was doing some weird stuff on the feet. It was like doing some jumping switch kicks, high kicks that were just not connecting, and they just felt kind of useless. And for a guy his size, definitely looked like he's about to break a couple things trying to do him. But yes, Hamdy did use his wrestling in his fight. He never really uses them, but he did use it. Looked really good using it. And yeah, has some really good power also. Good win for him. Good win for his debut. I believe this is on short notice too. So yeah, good win for him. I think this is the last one I get wrong on the card, I believe. So yeah, I am now 3-3 on the card with this one. Let's move on. Rafael Alves versus Drew Dober. Drew Dober does pull away with a win in this one. I believe it is a body kick KO. Or not a body kick, a hook to the body, my bad. But yeah, Rafael Alves came out swinging, came out hot. Like I said in my prediction, I believe. Came out hot. Threw a lot of kicks. Yeah, there's, I don't know if I would say rock Drew Dober, but definitely had him on his toes. Definitely hit him pretty hard a couple times. I wouldn't say rock like he was about to go down, but I'll say wobbled more. But yeah, he was able to get Dober on the ground a couple times when not a couple times, but Dober got on the ground one time, and Rafael Alves jumped on him, hit some ground and pound in the I want to say first or second round. I think it was the first round. But yeah, it was a very high paced fight in the beginning, but after the first round, Rafael Alves did turn down the frequency of moves he had. I believe in the 3rd round they kind of picked it up again. He started going crazy again. Did like I don't know what kind of kick it was, but some like over kick after a foul. But yes, Drew Dober was working the body most of the fight. I was not worried about Drew Dober because he does have a crazy chin. Can take a lot of Alves' damage and then inflict it back on Alves. Body shots eventually caught up with Alves, and yeah, Dober punched Alves in the rib, and he was done. Good win for Dober. Yeah, Not too much to say there, but yeah, good win for Dober. We'll move on up the card with a very close fight. I had a hard time choosing. I eventually went with Morono on my prediction, and he in fact did win the fight. So I am now 5-3 on the card. This one was really hard because Semelsberger is a really good fighter. Did really well against Chaos Williams. Same with Morono, like I said in my video. Actually, Morono didn't do well against Chaos Williams. He got knocked out. Semelsberger did do really well against Chaos Williams. Semelsberger did really well against AJ Fletcher on the ground. But yeah, I thought this matchup we've already seen before. Kind of like the same kind of fighter, at least. Semelsberger does hit harder, but has a better chin than Zawada, who Morono fought. My grammar is bad, I guess. Who Morono fought and did win a decision against. But Morono did the same here. Morono won a unanimous decision here. Yeah, was counterpunching Semelsberger pretty well. Yeah, it was pretty back and forth for the first round, it felt like. But Morono's damage definitely started tickering up. He definitely he swelled Semelsberger's left eye pretty close. I don't know how much Semelsberger could really see. It seemed like everything that Morono was throwing towards Semelsberger's left side of his face wasn't really being seen. So Morono definitely got away with the win here. Good win for him. And we will move on up the card to the main card, actually. Anthony Smith versus Magomed Ankalaev. There's not much to really take out of this fight. To be fair, it doesn't... I don't know how to say this. But Anthony Smith did not really fight during it. Like, he threw some leg kicks. Held, like, a really wide stance. Definitely threw like a 1-2 on there. But Ankalaev did pretty well here. Threw a lot of leg kicks to the point where it damaged Anthony Smith, or what he thought damaged himself. He started limping during the fight. I believe so. I think I'm going too fast here. Skipping through a little bit of the fight. But yeah, Anthony Smith ends up on the ground. I think he like falls over because his leg or something, or he goes off balance, and then Ankalaev just goes on top of him and beats him around the whole time, trying to lock in submissions. Couldn't do it. They get over by the cage. Actually, they stand up. Anthony Smith tries to take him down against the cage, but cannot. Ends up like right in front of Ankalaev. I believe this fight ends in the fight ends in the second round, ground and pound. But ends up against the cage. He says he gets ground and pounded, turns over. He doesn't really try to get up. Says after the fight that he broke his leg or broke his ankle or something. Sitting next to the doctor right as the fight ended. Apparently after the fight, someone asked Dana what happened. They said there's no fracture, no nothing. So yeah, very interesting thing that happened there. I think I'll probably see what Anthony Smith has to say about it on like Bisping's show or something. But yeah, good win for Ankalaev, but we do move on. He looks like he will probably be fighting Yuri if everything goes to plan. Hopefully that's what happens. They were promised a number one contenders fight. I just thought it was weird in the build-up where Anthony Smith said he thought it was weird that he's like a 5-1, 4-1 underdog or something. And then I don't want to say he quit, but like it wouldn't be fair to say he quit unless I know exactly what happened. But I'm just gonna say that he said he had an injured foot that wasn't really injured, and he left because of it. It just seems really weird to me. But yeah, didn't really put much of a fight here. Ankalaev was really good anyways. So yeah, let's move on up the card before I say something I don't want to say. Not that I had anything bad to say, but just in general. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. But in the next fight up the card, we have Alexandre Pantoja versus Alex Perez. Alexandre Pantoja ends this fight pretty quickly. Runs up and jumps on Alex Perez's back. And basically neck cranks him. Standing neck crank was pretty interesting. But yeah, good win for Alexandre Pantoja. He should get a title fight next after Moreno versus you guys already know. Moreno versus Figueiredo for the title, but it might not be for a while. Figueiredo wants to fight in Brazil. Dana says they have a Brazil card planned for next year. And during the build-up, Brandon Moreno said he wants to do the title fight before the end of the year. And Moreno agreed to the Brazil fight, and that is next year. So it looks like we will not figure out who the champion is until next year. And then Pantoja will not be able to fight for the title until probably, 7 months into 2023, which is a little rough, but unless he finds another fight. But I think he definitely deserves a title shot here. Good win for him. Yeah, let's move on up the card. Wasn't too much to get there. He ended the fight pretty quickly. So yeah, let's move on. Sergey Pavlovich versus Derrick Lewis. Sergey Pavlovich did win this fight relatively early. He just came out swinging. The reach advantage was definitely evident here. That knocked Derrick Lewis around quite a bit. But there's a point. So the stoppage was really weird on this fight. Yes, Derrick Lewis went down, face planted, but he got up immediately. It was just one of those things where it's just very unfortunate. The issue is that he face planted. Like if he didn't face plant and then had his head on the ground, this wouldn't be an issue. Like if he just fell down, he would have been fine and he would have gotten back up. But the fact that you face plant and you're not really defending yourself from hitting the ground, I get the stoppage. Same thing with the Daun Jung stoppage, where Daun Jung just smacked his head against the floor, and got up immediately. If people had an issue with the Daun Jung fight, saying that it wasn't right, then they should say this one wasn't right also. But if the same people are saying that Daun Jung was right and Derrick Lewis wasn't, kind of got to figure some things out there. But yeah, weird stoppage, but I don't know how much Derrick Lewis had in the tank for that fight in general. A good win for Sergey Pavlovich. Very unfortunate to happen on the main card the way it happened too. So yeah, let's move on to our first fight on the co-main. First fight on the card. That's a co-main event. Title fight: Brandon Moreno versus Ihor France. Brandon Moreno did come out with this fight in the third round with the body kick. So immediately in this fight, Brandon Moreno, I think I gave him round 1 and 2. Round 1 and 2. I think I could have gotten one somewhere in there, but yeah, I thought Moreno was doing pretty well. He was ducking a lot of Kai's. Kai would swing, but it looked like he was swinging in the air. Like there was nothing. Like Moreno would duck lower, and then unload a combo on Ihor France. Ihor France did establish a little bit of the leg kicks, but nothing too big. But Moreno did look really well. Looked really good in this fight. Moving on to the third round of that fight, because the first and second round were very similar. Very similar. Moreno was dodging a lot of Ihor France's punches and returning with some good combos. Third round, Ihor France looked really good in that round before getting finished. He was unloading punches on Moreno, was like knocking him off balance a little bit. Looked really, really good in that round until the latter part of it. With 30 seconds to go, he gets like smacked like a crazy kick, like a very loud kick when they did it on the replay. That sounded very painful. put him down. Moreno fished it off, and yeah. And then they had like this really awkward moment when Figueiredo came into the cage when Brandon Moreno was like halfway through his speech and talking about his daughter and everything. It was very awkward because Figueiredo was just standing in front of him. But yeah, I think I already talked about what happened there. They agreed on the Brazil fight, a fight in Brazil for next year. So yeah, it will hold the division back a little bit. So yeah, let's move on. There wasn't too much there. But yeah, let's move on up the card to the most anticipated main event of a card ever. Is what is being advertised, I believe. I'm not sure, actually. I think it was the most anticipated rematch or something. Whatever it was. We're moving on to the main event of the card. Joselyne Pena versus Amanda Nunes. I picked Nunes. I guess I haven't been saying who I picked, but I picked everybody correct from here. From the Hamdy Abdelwahab fight on, I picked everybody correct. So I did go 10-3 on this card, which is pretty good. I don't know if that's my best one yet, but it's pretty good. But anyways, let's get into the fight. This was a decision, which is very interesting. It wasn't looking like it was going to be a decision multiple times throughout the fight. First 2 rounds, Amanda Nunes completely drops Joselyne Pena a couple times. Joselyne Pena does not there's something wrong with her striking there. Didn't look like she kind of belonged with Amanda Nunes at all in there. It was very rough to watch. She would enter and start chasing her and then just get friggin' dropped. It was not like something you would want to see in your main event. It was a fun fight, but not too technical. Not to stutter, but from her part. Yeah, going off those first 2 rounds, dropped multiple times. I think Dana said she was dropped 5 times in 2 rounds, which is not very good. That's probably the 2 10-8s at that point. Yeah, but there was a couple points where Joselyne Pena tagged Amanda Nunes. I think even in the 4th round she tagged Amanda Nunes, and then Nunes shot for a takedown. She had her moments, but it makes you wonder how Nunes lost the first fight. She must have not trained at all. But yeah, Nunes looked really good in here. Took her down. There was a point in the 4th round where Pena almost had an armbar in. Was getting me excited a little bit because I had her by submission in the fight, but didn't happen. Not by my prediction, but on a parlay I did, because the freaking odds for Amanda Nunes weren't really worth it. Even for a decision, it was I don't know what it was. I think it was plus 300, which isn't bad, but yeah. Well, let's keep talking about the fight and let's not get sidetracked. 3rd round, just believe it was more of the same. Joselyne getting cracked, Nunes taking her down. 4th round in danger. 5th round was a little bit in danger, but Pena got busted wide open. Dana did say she needs plastic surgery or something, so she probably won't be back for a year, especially with all the damage she took in that fight. But yeah, good win for Amanda Nunes. Yeah, she's the double champ again. Yeah, I'm hearing not rumors, but Dana is opposed to Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko 3 fight, which would be pretty fun to watch. But yeah, that's the only thing I see for her. I don't know. No, these women's divisions are all jumbled up at this point. Yeah, not much to say here. Surprised it went to a decision, but is what it is. Happy to move on from this card. I wasn't too excited for it, but it is what it is. I did go 10-3. I believe the matchups I got wrong were the Orion Cosce fight, Nicolae and Negumereanu, and Hamdy Abdelwahab. But yeah, other than that, I did pretty well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. I will release the predictions for the Santos versus Hill fight either on Sunday or Monday, so stay tuned. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.